was a stadium for light athletic disciplines. That's the Forum. Space for 22,000 spectators. In the Middle East, they built on the top. In Baroque, they built a palace on the church dedicated to Agnes, one of the first Roman martyrs. And the church is built by Francesco Borromini. The three fountains here, they're all three masterpieces done by Gian Lorenzo Beri.
A much quicker death. He was beheaded. We don't have a lot of information on this. We know that Clement of Rome, who was probably the third bishop here in Rome, wrote about not only Paul's death, but Peter's death as well in Rome. Peter traditionally being killed at St. Peter's Basilica, where St. Peter's Basilica is now. And we're coming up on high noon. But outside the walls of Rome. And just in the year 2000, many pilgrims came to this church to see the sarcophagus of Paul, and they complained that they couldn't see it. Turned out there was an earthquake many years ago, and it obscured the sarcophagus. So the church decided in 2002 that they were going to try and excavate the sarcophagus, and they did. And in 2006, they exposed a corner of the sarcophagus, which was about 8 feet long by, I think, 4 feet wide and about 3 feet high. And then in 2009, they released the results of a carbon-14 dating test. And we all know that carbon-14 dating can, on occasion, give you crazy results. But in this case, the carbon-14 dating of the remains showed the remains to be either 1st or 2nd century AD. So whatever is in there has been there for quite a long period of time, and it probably is the remains of Paul from the neck down. We're not sure where his head is, but they think that the remains are in this church. Now, this church was the largest church in Christendom for 1,000 years, from when it was initiated or consecrated in about 400 or so AD. I think 390 was the date, the official date, until St. Peter's Basilica was finally erected, which we were at earlier this morning. This was the largest church in Christendom. And it was destroyed, almost completely burned to the ground, on July 15, 1823. Some roofers got careless on the roof. They set the church on fire. The whole thing burned to the ground. There are a couple of frescoes in there, I think, that remain from the previous church, but overall the church went down and it then was rebuilt. So the church you're seeing now has been rebuilt. But for a while, as I say, it was the largest church in all of Christendom. And we're going to go inside now and take a look at the sarcophagus, what can be seen of it anyway. And I think we can be fairly confident that this indeed is where St. Paul is interred. The final stop of the Footsteps of Paul journey. Now keep this in mind, friends, we are all going to arrive at this place unless the Lord comes prior to our deaths. We're going to arrive in the same place. We probably won't have a church built upon us, but we are going to arrive at our deaths and ultimately then receive the great reward awaiting us. So let's go see what Paul, or where Paul actually is. And that was perfect timing. Thank you very much.
First grab your view.
Low power.